everybody, happy 2024 and welcome to EZLynx Live here in January. We're happy to have you join us here on the show. Today, usually in January, we have our roadmap discussion. We talk about where we're going. Well, we're still working on the roadmap and working on a few key items that we maybe want to include for the year. So we thought, well, what could we do in January that would be good? Let's look at getting you guys set up for success here in 2024. What are two things that you guys can do at the start of 2024 to get you guys set up for success? And those two things, I think they kind of boil down to one, making sure you're ready for self-servicing for your clients, have that in situation and taken care of. And two, some basic automation to maybe support that. Right? So let's think about it. We all just got back to the office from the holidays, and when you get back from a long time out of office, what do you usually have when you get back? You have a lot of voicemails to go through, right? You have a lot of emails. And when you think about it, a lot of these emails and voicemails that you guys might be having to go through are things like, I need my ID card, right? I need to request a change on this policy. If you're working with some commercial clients, it's, I need to make an actual change or request a certificate. Or a big one, I need to make a payment. How do I go about making a payment? Well, we have two really great things in EZLynx that can really assist with that. One is going to be our Client Center, right? Our Client Center is that 24/7 self-servicing portal where your insureds can go to when the office is closed to handle some of these general self-servicing needs. And then we also have automation that can help promote Client Center for you and actually drive awareness for it. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to dive in real quick to show you guys how simple and easy it is to set up Client Center. And let's start off by looking at some of the quick settings that we have in Client Center. So if we get Client Center pulled up, we're going to look through some of the basic settings and show you guys just how easy it is to get this thing going. So to get into our Client Center settings, just hover right over the settings icon. Yep, and head up there to where it says Client Center. This is going to be where you guys can set up a lot of customizable information with respect to like general settings, email notifications, certificates, if you guys want how you want certificates handled. And then we'll look at branding a little bit later. Let's start out with just general help information. When your customer logs into the Client Center portal, what information do you want to have published on the screen if they need to reach out to somebody for help? Okay. Do you want it to have like a customized name? Right? Do you want it to be the agency default? Maybe I want to change this and I don't want it to be that. I want it to actually be somebody's name. Like, let's put my name in there, for example, Ryan Beukema. Right? I can do that. I can choose to use the assigned producer on that account. I can use the assigned CSR on that account, and that information will show up with who they should reach out to. All of this stuff is customizable, but that's one thing that you really want to do to give it a personal touch. We keep scrolling down here. We have information around when they request information and what's the confirmation that comes back for that. So for example, if they put in a change request where they're requesting maybe add a driver, update and add a vehicle, right? Once they enter that information in, there is usually a dialogue that comes back to the customer to let them know that, hey, this has been handled. You can customize this message to whatever you'd like. You can have a callback phone number. You could even include an email address if you'd like to. And the same thing is said for if they request a certificate, right? You can do the exact same thing. You can customize this message to how you want. This allows us to be able to go in and determine, do we want all of our locations to be enabled for Client Center, yes or no? It just so happens that for this one, we have it set up for everybody. Everybody has it. We have our main office and our branch, but you guys can choose how you want that done. You can also choose what types of things do you want displayed inside of Client Center. So when your customer logs into that portal, what can they see? Can they see manual policies that were added in or just downloaded ones? Right? Can they see claims? Right? Can they actually go in and view the policy details? Do you want to give them the ability to actually request a new certificate in Client Center, yes or no? This is completely customizable. And also the referral program, which we'll look at down here, but you can actually allow them to submit a referral if they'd like to, and you can determine how that happens. We'll look at it in a minute. Another one real quick is if we go back over cross-sell, right? Let's say that they have an auto policy and no home policy, right? Maybe you want them to, are you interested in getting a home policy, right? That might help you bundle and save. You can choose to have those cross-sell options show up or not show up. It's completely up to you guys. So I could turn this off if I wanted to. Like I don't really want to push that on my insureds. I'd rather handle those sales questions. That can be pulled out if you'd like, or you can leave it on. Now, with respect to the referral program, this too can be customized, right? You can actually enter in, this is the message that you want. Refer a friend, receive a $10 gas card along with your free raffle entry. You know, for a chef at Pierre EZLynx, at our fictitious EZLynx restaurant here. But you can customize, once again, however you'd want it to be, you know, worded. Maybe it's not just a $10 gift card. Maybe it's a Visa gift card. Whatever, right? You can choose how you want to have that done, as well as you can choose what type of response they get back whenever they select, maybe say a rating, right? We allow you guys to rate, or your insureds are able to rate their experience in the system. So when they enter in information about a claim, and they perform an action, we'll pop up a thing saying, hey, rate our agency. We'd love for you to do it, right? So 4 through 5 stars, you know, you can choose what saying you want. 1 through 3 stars, you can choose that, oh yeah, you know, thanks for the rating. Could you share more about your experience, right? Right, so you can get more feedback from the customer if they submit feedback, and then thank you for their feedback. Also, if they refer somebody, thank you for referring a friend. We'll reach out to them shortly. So these are things that are customizable. You can change this message to what you want it to be that best fits the dialogue in your agency. That way, that whole brand, your brand is all kind of the same. Another thing, if we keep going down, you can determine, for example, if they request a change, if they request a certificate, when tasks get created to do things, what happens at a client center? So if a change request comes in, if they go into the client center portal and they request a change on something, who gets it, right? Is it the assigned producer? Is it the CSR? Is there a specific person in your agency that always handles change requests? Or maybe somebody always handles claims, the initial claims, right? You can designate whoever you'd like that to be. All those different things are going to be right inside there, for example. So you can also choose right here, when are tasks going to be due? So these tasks that get generated for things that the customer is asking you for, right? They'll pop into your little workspace pane and say, hey, here's a task. You can choose, do you want those things due the same day that it came in, or do you want them due next day? It's completely up to you, but you get to set what you want that due date to be on the task that gets scheduled at a client center. So very nice. You're able to do that for, once again, change requests, requesting certificates, things made through the payment processor, cross-sell opportunities, who gets them, as well as proposals, right, that are displayed inside Client Center. So all these great things can be handled. These are the general settings. We head over to our email preferences. We go ahead and leave. We didn't save anything. You can choose for if they send an actual help inquiry, who gets it? Is it assigned producer? Is it the CSR? Is it a specific person? Do you want it to go to this assigned producer and then somebody else too in the agency? Maybe you guys want to checks and balance, right? You want to make sure that your producers or your CSRs are doing everything, so the agency principal also wants to be included on all these emails. Or maybe the office manager wants to. That's fine. You can customize that and you can set that all right here. You can also do for general change requests, where does that go? Documents that are download settings, right? Documents uploaded into the system, who's going to get those? For example, we have one of our employees here. We have Janie set up at EZLynx to get those in our fake account that we've created here, right? As well as if they wanted to maybe update something on the applicant, who's going to get that information, right? Whether it's personal information is updated, co-applicant information is updated. All of these things you can choose for these different actions. Who do you want to receive that request for that change or that update? Who's it going to go to in your agency? So it's very customizable here as we scroll through this. All these different people that we can basically route things that come out of the portal to. Certificates is another area where we can actually go in and we can actually set some things. So for example, for certificate forms, which ones do you want to enable them to be able to have access to? Right? You can go through the Accord 24, 25, 30. You can choose which carriers you want them to be able to access and create certificates for. So this is very, very, very important, especially if you have commercial customers who you have a lot of faith in, you trust them, but they're generating these things left and right. Right? It sometimes can get very difficult when they're calling in the agency all the time asking for these to be generated. You can give them the ability to just do it right there through the portal. Right? And so that brings us to our next tab here, which is branding. Making sure that your brand experience is consistent for your customers is really, really important. The last thing that you want when you're creating this customer portal is for it to feel disconnected, right? So some of the things that we did in 2023 here are really important. We added the ability for you to update the coloring schema of your Client Center portal to match the coloring schema at your agency. We also add the ability to change out logos, add promotional messages, and these are things that really kind of help with the look and the feel of it to make it feel like it's more of your site, more of your actual agency. So let's get back in. I want to show you some of the cool things that we've done here with branding and Client Center, and then we're going to change some stuff out. I'm going to show you how we can pull out a logo, what it looks like without it, put one in, see how that all works. We're going to change some coloring schemas. We're just going to talk through some of the cool things that you may want to look at here to get this thing set up here in 2024 to really get you guys set up for a path for success. So let's get back in real quick. So when you hop over to branding, one quick thing to kind of point out, you'll notice that the table up here kind of changes. We're in the process of redoing a lot of the pages inside of EZLynx and updating them to some of our new design standards. So just be aware, if you were to go back to certificates, here's kind of the older UI. You come here to branding. This is some of our newer, cleaner, smoother looking UI. So we're slowly getting through all these tabs, but don't worry about it. Now, branding, this is something that we did back in 2023. We allow you to be able to go into Client Center and customize it. So for example, with this one, we have our primary color right now set to blue. Secondary color is set to silver. If I wanted to change that, I could. Actually, let's go to the customer account. Yeah, let's go to Client Center real fast. Okay, let's log out. There we go. So notice we're here, primary color blue. We don't have a logo. We haven't updated and really put in anything yet. So let's update that color. We're here at EZLynx. Our color is red. So we're going to change that to red. Our secondary color, let's go ahead and make that maybe, we can leave it gray. Yeah, let's just leave it gray. The other thing I want to do is let's actually put in a good logo for ourselves. So if you wanted to add in your own logo that you guys have for your agency, you can do that. You can come in here. We have some specific restrictions and kind of expectations around what the logo should be. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to grab out kind of our Applied Net one that we had for our user conference, and we can use that. Right. Then if I come down here, there's a couple of other things I can do. Right. This is all for the login page. I can actually I can add a description or a hero message if I want to. If you ever want to view examples of what you could do, just click the example area. So the description will go here, your list of features can go here. So for example, if we close that out, go back to the Client Center. Welcome to the Client Center, your 24/7 portal. Notice that, if you go back, is the exact same thing we have typed here. You can put whatever you want here. They actually have it say manage your insurance account anytime, anywhere. So they're actually putting kind of an action, a call to action there. This is what you can do here. Below that, you'll see these lists of hot topic actions that we want to do. For example, here we have right now documents is up at the top, but maybe documents is not the one we really want to promote in the agency. Maybe we're a lot more interested in get your ID card, make a payment, request for change, view your claims, right? We can change this order to whatever we want for our agency. And the top 4 up here are what is going to appear. If you also wanted to put in a promotional banner, once again, you can view that. You can put in a promotional banner, and this is what's going to actually appear once the customer has logged in, right? So you can put in a promotional banner if you'd like. It's completely up to you guys. All of these are different things that you can do to kind of customize it, make it a little bit more personable, a little bit more you guys, right? Whenever your insureds log in. But we've done some changes here real quick. 1, we updated our logo. 2, we changed our primary colors. So what I want to do is I want to come down here and I want to go ahead and hit publish. Then I want to go back to that login screen. Let's refresh it and let's see what happens. Oh, look, boom. Our primary coloring changed, our logo's now added. When we actually log in and go through the Client Center portal, everything there is going to be updated. So if we click and we go back into it again, instead of it being blue, now it's red, and look, there's our logo. Everything is added in here, and it's going based off of those specifications that I put in. Notice that we didn't have, go back to the settings tab, notice that we didn't put in a promotional banner. which goes right here. We didn't put anything in. Customer loyalty discounts for car insurance. Let's add that real fast. Let's just do it. Customer. Discounts for car insurance. Okay, so that's similar to what we had if we went ahead and published that. If we go back into, say, Client Center and we refresh some things, we should be able to see that updated verbiage right there whenever they log in, right? So, thanks for being a loyal customer. It takes a few minutes for some of these things to update, for these things to pop in here. So, for example, this is going to actually pop in eventually right here after good afternoon. It'll appear right here. So sometimes it does take a minute. Don't be afraid if you update the logo, you change it, you immediately go to, say, the login screen and the logo's not there, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It takes a few minutes for the system to update and for it to apply sometimes the changes, but then those changes are going to be there. So once again, branding, we can do a lot here. We can change some of the coloring scheming. We can also change, who they're going to reach out to if they have questions on things, right? So like right here we saw, who can they reach out to, the phone numbers, all those different things. Those are all customizable when you come over here to the actual settings inside of Client Center to make it more customizable for you guys. So now that we've focused and talked about how you guys can get Client Center set up from a setting standpoint and also retrofit it to have your branding actually implemented on the site, let's talk a little bit about awareness, right? This is a very powerful tool, and if you think about the different self-servicing options that Client Center has, these might be a lot of the voicemails that you guys got while the offices were closed, right? I need an ID card. I'd like to make a payment. These are all simple self-servicing tasks that your insureds can do through the portal without having to wait for the agency, right? Client Center, if you think of it, it's your 24/7, 365-day-a-year digital representative. It's there when you guys aren't, right? And in today's society, where a lot of people want that instant gratification, I want to be able to request something, get it, and I can move on. Client Center helps with that. So let's go in, and I want to kind of go through some of the different actions and things that your insureds can do in Client Center, right? And then that'll help us really understand how we want to promote it. So let's get back in real quick and talk about some of those self-servicing actions. The actions or the self-servicing actions that your insureds can do inside a Client Center, whether your agency is open or closed for the day, this is basically what they're able to do. They can upload documents, they can download documents that you have shared with them. This is great from a document exchange standpoint. It's a secured location to do it from. Maybe you want to send them some information, they need to download it, fill out some stuff, and then upload it, send it back to you. You can do that right here. And that's great. ID cards, if I need to go get my ID card, if I'm going to get my car inspected and it's the weekend and the agency's closed, I don't want to have to wait till Monday to do it. I want to, if I have free time on the weekend, go do it when I have the time. I can just come here as an insured, get my ID card, and go off and do what I need to do. If they need to request a change, adding a driver, removing a driver, adding a vehicle, removing a vehicle, maybe they bought a new car, maybe they have a teen driver now who they want to add in. You can do all that information here. They can view their policies and they can make payments. Now, there was one that we talked about. Yeah, go back to Client Center settings. Here we go. View claims. That's another action that they're able to do there. They're able to go view claims. Now, you might say, well, where's that action on the Client Center portal page? Where is it? Well, the action doesn't show up because there are no claims. If I had a claim, I would be able to go in and see the status of that claim and see how everything's going. So that's some of the actions that they're able to do in Client Center. Payments is really important, and it definitely helps with respect to, say, if you're doing your agency bill or if you have one-off payments that you want them just to make for your agency, you can direct them here and you can take those and collect those payments here. If you're interested in getting payments set up in your Client Center portal, I encourage you to reach out to your sales representative. They're going to be able to get you set up on all the contracting and get that going for you. Let's go into that payment one, though, because this is interesting. Okay. It just so happens that if we go into the policy here, this policy is a direct bill. So you can even handle direct bill payments with Client Center. Now, we're not going to take the payment inside of Client Center. What we're going to do, if they want to make a payment and it's direct bill, we're just going to redirect them to the carrier's website where they can go and they can make that payment. So think of the days that, an insured's come into the office, they have a direct bill, they want you to pay it, you have to go to the agency's website, you have to pull it up, you have to put in their card information. You have to worry about that, right? Right? With direct bill being able to be handled inside Client Center, They just click the link, they click OK, they go to the carrier site, they put in their card information like you would have, and they're off to the races and running. And that's one less thing that you have to do in your agency. So these are the actions that we really want to drive awareness of inside of Client Center for our insureds, right? It's adding documents, it's ID cards, it's change of cuts, it's policies, it's payments. And if you scroll down a little further, right here, where it says take advantage, this is if we think back to that setting, if we wanted to cross-sell things, they would click this to be able to see what other options are available for them, right? That they can go into and choose. So for example, we come in here, home security, flood insurance, auto, home renters, what do you want to get set up with, right? So we give them different options that they can kind of go into and get set up with, okay? So driving awareness of all those great actions that we just looked at in Client Center, that can be handled a number of ways. We've talked a lot with agencies at AppliedNet. We've talked a lot with agencies during just general agency visits that we do here in the product team, as well as whenever we do usability testing, so some of the new features. So we often want to, engage them to see, well, how are you successful at using this? How have you been successful at using that? And a couple of things really stand out as constants that happen. The number one thing that we've really seen that a lot of people do to drive awareness for this great portal is they just handle it by word of mouth, right? So for example, let's say your office was closed over the break. Somebody called in and they left a voicemail saying, I need to make a payment, how do I do that? Or I'd like an ID card, can you send that to me? When the CSR returns that call, at agencies that have been successful in implementing Client Center, that CSR will often give them the ID card or instruct them on how to make a payment, but they'll also send them a link and they'll remind that insured that, hey, you can actually handle this through our portal yourself and not have to wait for us to return a call or not have to send in an email and wait to get that back. That's one thing that people do is they really push that message every time they talk to the customer, especially if the customer is called in for something that can be handled through the Client Center. The other thing that people do with Client Center is that they look at the different life cycles of a customer. And probably one of the most important parts of that customer life cycle when they're coming in is the onboarding, right? You've just signed up a brand new customer to your agency, and there's a number of things that you do. You send them a welcome email, you might have a task for that producer to reach out and introduce themselves. Maybe even the CSR wants to introduce themselves and say, I'm going to be the person servicing the account, right? If you have any questions, here's my number, you can reach out to me. So one thing that agencies do is part of that onboarding, which is a pivotal time, is they try to drive the best behaviors that they want. And that behavior being, if you have self-servicing things that you need done, let's head over to the Client Center to get them done. They start the customers on that path for success for you guys, right? Right off the bat, build in the behavior that you guys want. Now that can be done a number of ways. You can manually put those things into emails if you want and include a link in your signature to your Client Center portal for them. Or you can use some simple automation that we have in Automation Center that automates kind of a little bit of the onboarding process. Specifically, the sending of the link to Client Center whenever you create a new customer's account. So I'd like to spend our last bit of time here. Let's look at some of those templated, automated actions that we have and automated workflows that we have in Automation Center that you guys can turn on really quick. They're easy to do, and then you guys can really be set up for success in implementing Client Center portal here in 2024 and actually save your agency some time. So get back into EZLynx real quick. So accessing Automation Center, like I had mentioned, we have the ability for you guys just to turn on a quick template to actually get the right behavior set, right, with your insured. So when you're bringing them into the agency, you welcome them. They're new to the agency, right? What do you want to have happen, right? And one of the things that we've done here in Automation Center to make it easy to engage in automation is we've created templates. And these templates are based off of some of the very common workflows that we see a lot of out in the market, that we see a lot of our customers doing, that we've gotten feedback from a lot of our successful agencies using automation as the things that they do and how they automate. If you attended AppliedNet this year, you got to hear from some of our agents as to how they leverage automation and how it's been very successful at their agency. Right? So these templates here help people get going. And one of the things that you can do, we'd recommend, is to start that relationship with your insured off on a good foot. Not just welcoming them to the agency, but letting them know that these tools are available, like the Client Center. So for example, if a new customer comes into your agency and you want to be able to just build out this workflow, you can do that, right? So if I click into that, I can choose to add filters. Maybe if it's a personal lines customer, I want something to happen, or commercial lines customer, I want something to happen. You can refine these workflows down a little bit further if you want. You can edit this template to whatever you'd like, and then you can save that as your version. But if we go over to here where we have actions, we can send our welcome email. Notice that that's there. We can send an email to the insured, right? We can send a note to the agent to, hey, reach out. So if we were to say, go in here and take a look at it, we can actually see the predetermined note that's already kind of been tied in for you, as well as a checklist of things to do, like inform the client of the Client Center. You can do that. And if you want, you can also choose to send a Client Center link. Now, one of the cool things that we added in 2023 with our automation is the ability for you to choose when you want some action to happen as part of a workflow. Do you want it to, the second the policy is added into the system and the customer's added, do you want that workflow to fire right then and there? Do you want to wait a few days? Right? So let's say maybe we're going to wait like a day for this to happen instead of the initial day that happens. So if we come back over here, notice that we have the welcome email going out. We have sending a link to Client Center going out so that they can see what it looks like and get access, and it talks to them about Client Center. Here's an email where they can go to manage their insurance online, once again, talking about Client Center for them. And then here's a task for that agent to do a couple of things to ensure stuff is done. These are all set up as to fire the first day, 1 day after, 2 days after, and then 5 days after. What's great about this, if you think about from a promoting standpoint, is you can choose how often you want this message with this workflow to be in front of that customer. A lot of people will often also do this with respect to renewals. You can build an automation around when the renewal is coming in to inform them that, hey, get ready to go to Client Center, we're going to send over some information for you to look at, right? Or whenever ID cards come out, go to Client Center, go view your ID card. You can choose based on these different automated events that we have how to do it. But I would highly recommend for people who are going to be getting set up, here in 2024, getting off on the right foot, and getting everything going. This workflow is very powerful because it helps you set key behaviors that you want from a process standpoint, your insureds and your customers doing. You want them going to certain avenues to get information that they need versus just calling into the agency and leaving a bunch of voicemails. Instead, hey, let's promote the Client Center portal and let's get them where they need to be in order to get, the information that they need out. So I would highly encourage, leverage this workflow action, right, which is new customer. Adjust it if you'd like to. You can add in different things if you'd like to. That's completely up to you. Right? But at least get this workflow turned on, set up, ready to go. All you have to do if you want to customize it is just click enabled, and it's off to the races and running, and it's good to go, and it's turned on for your agency. So this is something that can really be utilized in addition to every time they call in and ask for an ID card, push them the link to Client Center, direct them to Client Center, even pull up Client Center. So if we go in real quick, go back to Charlotte. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave there. This is really important. So if you go on this view right here on the customer that says Client Center, this is your view, okay? Look, our logo, our little promotional banner appeared. There it is. I told you it would appear. This is a read-only mode. This is what the agent sees. It's not what your insured sees. This is basically your view. And what's really great when you get somebody who calls in, they're not familiar with what this is, you can go ahead and direct them to the site, and then you can just kind of walk through it with them. Hey, here's our Client Center portal. Here's where you're going to go get your ID card. If you wanted to schedule a quick, Zoom call with them to go through this and talk through it, you can, right? But this is a view for you to be able to go into their account and show them where they need to go to do things. So this is a great way if you think about it, either hammering it home on the phone when they call in and really promoting that this is there, utilizing the automations, you just send the links out automatically for you so you don't have to do it. And then at the same time, leveraging this read-only view that the agent has to walk people through the portal. Hey, I'm going to schedule a meeting with you. I'm your agent, but I want to show you this cool portal that we have where you can go get things and request stuff from us. So this is very powerful capability for you guys to be able to just sit down with them over like a call and be able to show them what this thing is and how it actually works and benefits them. Well, that's all the time we have for the show today. We really hope that this information gets you guys set up for success here in 2024. Client Center is an extremely powerful tool, and it's something that can really help with self-servicing. It can really help take you away from, I'd say, non-revenue generating tasks like sending out ID cards and allow you guys to focus on more important things like building relationships, right? Helping with renewals and walking people through which decision is best based on their unique needs, right? So we really encourage you guys, jump in, get Client Center going. As you saw today, it's not that hard. It's pretty easy. That way you guys can focus on some more important things at the agency, like building those relationships. You know, if you have any questions about how some of these features work that we talked about today, if you need some more detail, you can always go to our product hub, where we actually have videos where we demonstrate how these new features work, as well as training. Whenever you're logged into EZLynx, just click on that question mark up in the top corner. And then you can search for topics to be able to figure out how to do things, as well as watch training videos from there. We hope to see you here on our next show. Our next show, we'll talk a little bit about some of our focus areas for 2024 and let you guys know where we're going to be going here in our next year. So thank you guys for joining in. And as we say here in Texas, as always, we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.